What's going on, guys? I'm Rahil from SPA Podcast, and today we're discussing the topic of Mulan. Mulan is a recent movie that just got released that is a reenactment of the animation version, and I believe it is $30 on with an active subscription on Disney Plus. And I'm here with the team. How is it going, guys?
Hey, Rahil. Thank you so much. Hey, guys. I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Gene.
I'm Kira.
And I'm Miss Lee. So, yeah, it's interesting to kind of meet up and talk about this topic, everyone. So I think I'm the only one who probably saw the Mulan movie, right? Did you guys see it or
No.
no?
No, I haven't been able to see it yet, probably because of the really expensive price on Disney Plus.
Okay, so you guys, you feel like it's just like the price that's really expensive, or as I've heard from some of the students, is it because of the problematic issues with the Mulan movie? Let's be real. Like, what are you guys feeling? Is it the price, or is it the issues that comes along with the movie right now?
I actually decided not to watch it because of the trailer. Um, I have watched the original Mulan movie like hundreds of times, and I really love it. So when the trailer came out, I was really excited, but then I got kind of disappointed after watching the trailer because I found out there were no songs and it was going to be no Mushu, who is like the most iconic character in Mulan. So I was pretty disappointed, so I didn't want to watch that movie.
Well, personally, from what I saw from the trailers and from what I saw from all the other Disney remakes that they did, I could safely assume that it wasn't going to be very good. And when I heard that they were going to adapt a bunch of it to try and make it a more serious film, and I'm not sure how they even made it a more serious film, like they just gave it magic, and just by removing comedy, it doesn't make it any more serious if you have literal scenes of someone kicking an arrow with like no training whatsoever. So I didn't really decide to watch it, but from what I can tell from its general critical praise and from all the other people who've seen it, I I think it's bad.
Yeah, I think I'm actually quite different from Kirith and Jean, actually. I chose not to watch it also because, just like you said earlier, the price. However, I do think that even though this film doesn't follow what the original animated one was, I think it's also very important that people can learn a lot about, like, I haven't watched it, but I think a lot of people can learn a lot about the culture and like how this story is being interpreted in modern times.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And then Rahil is the same because, like you said, it was like the price earlier, right?
Right. I
Yeah.
can't, obviously, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't make any judgments about it. But at the same time, I know that I kind of have to see it, or like, I don't have to, but like, I really think it's a good idea to see it just to see where you stand, in that you should see it. That even because you don't want to see it, that doesn't mean you shouldn't see it. If you don't want to see it, then see it in order to like confirm that you didn't want to see it, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait until December or so, whenever it's gonna come out, without a payment on Disney Plus, and then I'll watch it, and then I'll see if I actually like it. So we just have to take one step at a time.
Good. I think that's awesome how you said that. Like that's pretty fair, you know what I mean? Like how the people are saying they just don't like it because sure, it's not the same way as the animation. So I watched the movie compared to I guess everybody else in the room right now. So the thing is when I first saw the movie I was like, oh my gosh, like there's no sing-alongs, you know what I mean? Everybody remembers like that reflection song and the
Yes, three of the most iconic Disney songs contained
yeah.
into one very great movie that were just removed to make it more quote unquote serious.
Yeah, well, but then that seriousness actually you're right on that, you know, Gene. Like it's pretty iconic, you know, everybody knows the song. However, do you guys think sometimes the people in Disney do this so that it entertains the older crowd too? You know what I mean? Like if it's just a complete sing along, I'm also thinking would I have enjoyed it? But at the same time, I'm like, Yeah, I was a fan of the original animation also, so I would have totally sang along with it and just had fun. But like Ingrid said, I felt like they were trying to bring an addition of different type of cultural aspect to this. However, like we'll discuss about the different problems that this the skyrocketed for this movie in a second. But yeah, what do you think, guys? I don't know. I feel like the Disney people like they just try to make it entertaining even for the older crowd. But do you guys think so, or I don't know?
Well, speaking about songs, Gene, you mentioned that the Mulan songs were some of the most iconic songs in Disney. I don't know if that's true, but I would argue that songs like Lion King's Hakuna Matata or A Whole New World by Aladdin, those are like the classic Disney songs. I don't know. I wouldn't really like expect people to, I don't know, worry about the songs in Mulan.
Yeah, but the first off, I'm pretty sure you can literally walk up to anyone on the street and saying, "Let's get down to business," and then they will finish that sentence because they know that song. Second off, the songs were a very, very good way of expressing and developing character. For example, Reflection portrays Mulan's, wants and thoughts. It's a basic power ballad I Want song, but it's done very, very well.
Point.
The whole Hun song is it's put to a training sequence to show that everyone is developing and Mulan is turning into a fighter. And the girl with fighting for that one's arguably forgettable. That one is not the greatest. But come on, 2 out of the 3 songs out of the normal Disney would normally on average put 6 songs. So if they only make 3 songs and 2 of those being extremely iconic, then I would say it's a very good choice to remove them. And on top of that, what would happen if you did remove them? How does it change the movie's tone? If we were to remove the songs from the original Mulan, then you just have a plot hole and some undeveloped characters. Like, how does it make it more serious?
I disagree. I think by taking out the music, it gives, obviously there has to be music in a movie. That's kind of obvious. But what
Wait,
you
hold on. Wait. Let's clarify that you said there has to be music in a movie. So maybe aside from like the background music, right? You're talking about specifically for Disney movies that need musical songs? Just
I
to
don't
clarify.
mean I don't actually mean like sing-along songs. I mean music that is used as a background. I guess you could just say like auditory music, not like sing-alongs.
Mhm.
So what that means is like credit music, like music at the end of the credits, or music that is just like I don't know, if there's time passing, there's usually some sort of music playing. Maybe time passes in a movie and that's like during that lifespan you can see that the time is passing because of some sort of music. Normally it would be flute music or something like that. So that's what I mean by all movies have to have that kind of thing. So you can like literally watch any movie and you can see that there is music in the movie. By taking out sing-along music, so this is where I'm kind of disagreeing with Gene, is that by taking sing-along music, it kind of gives us like an interpretation of like I don't know, it just seems like more of a mature movie. I guess you could say a mature movie compared to sing-along movies like animation, which isn't as mature.
I think it's also very important to note that Disney, from the very beginning, even when Walt Disney was around, like when Snow White was released, Cinderella, like those classic princess movies, they had sing-alongs in those as well. And in addition to the sing-alongs, they had, like you said, Rahil, the background music. So I wonder, is it, Jean, possibly kind of directing this at you, is the reason why you're very unhappy about these songs taken out is because it's not going with the status quo of Disney?
I guess kind of. I mean, Disney has obviously made movies that don't have songs in them, but the whole point of those songs wasn't to sing along to. They were good songs, and they were put to useful clips so then they could develop the story faster while also having a song in the background. I'm sure there are a load of mature films that have songs that you can probably sing along to, or original songs. Just because you have a song in it that you can sing along to does not mean that that it's a mature enough film. Come and Get Your Love, Redbone. You can sing along to that. Hey, all that from Guardians of the Galaxy, which is it's not a immature film. It's not something that's like, for the little kitty kids. So like a song doesn't necessarily change the maturity of a movie or not. But that's like a completely different argument when
Yeah,
it comes to something like Mulan.
I actually like the way actually how Jean pointed out that the musics for Disney wise, like compared to the other movies, the musics actually did support the whole story, to move faster. Because like if you try to actually create those movies into a longer period without the music's help, I guess I agree where it's like, yeah, it works for the animation part for sure. Like you're able to kind of like move forward. But then now we're talking about the latest Mulan movie where there were no sing-alongs. And sure, Gene, I think adults too, I'm pretty sure like if they had some of the songs come out in the movie, they would totally sing along with it. I agree with you on that. Like there's just such huge crowds of Disney fans out there who are adults too. So I think they would have enjoyed it. But besides the taking out the music part, I mean, I have to tell you guys, and I'm not going to ruin the story for you, okay? But the story is just completely different, in my opinion. So now, um, with that said, just as a person who kind of already watched the movie, I think I agree with Rahil. You guys might need to watch the movie clearing your mind and not try to remember the original animated movie of Mulan. Like, you guys actually might have to just literally clear your mind, forget Mulan, what you guys watched before, and then just watch it the way it
Yeah,
is. And then,
I
yeah,
I
I
like
think you
to
might
consider
agree.
that if you're to remove all expectations that you
Yeah,
had from the original movie, even though it was practically marketed the same and has
yeah,
literally the exact same name, and the
right.
posters were almost replicable, and it was almost the exact same story with a bunch of changes, that was definitely advertised as a live action remake. Let's just forget that it's not the original Mulan. It's not going to be as good, and let's look at it from a narrative standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Giving
Well,
Mulan magic powers. Now, Mulan is already based off of an old folktale, right? So it should necessarily stay true to that folktale, right? A girl proves herself right and essentially becomes a hero, right?
well, okay.
It's a very very good story.
You said that original folktale, right? But you know what? I don't know if you guys seen other movies, meaning like,
Yeah,
for example, like Cinderella or Little Mermaid, right? All of these type of
yes, that's why I
movies.
said adaptation, not a
Right,
direct translation.
right. But there's
But
just so
that still
many
means they have
different
to stay
versions.
somewhat faithful to the story. In fact, China has already made 3 separate remakes of the original story, not even counting Disney.
Oh, of
So, yes, so there are 4 remakes that stay true to the original plot point that Mulan does not have magic powers. She develops her character, she develops her strength, she develops everything. With Mulan, the 2020 remake, she doesn't develop them. She's already born with them. She is given magic powers. She is turned into a Mary Sue. Now, the point of the movie, now comparing it to the folktale, I know I'm not supposed to do this. Mulan develops them. She wants to prove herself, and she does that through hard work and effort, like the training montage
right.
for, the Huns, right? Now, in this movie, normally in action movies, you would have the character starting off, completely like, being able to kick everyone's butts and doing crazy action stunts. So, Mulan is not meant to be an action movie. It's meant to be an adventure movie. It's meant to be someone developing with a little bit of action tossed in between. But that is supposed to be from learning a skill, not from already having a skill that you put to use.
Yeah, yeah. I guess like I mean, I think that's a whole story of Mulan, right? Just that character development. So yeah, I didn't know there was like a lot of different other remakes other than Disney, I guess. So that's quite interesting to learn and hear about that. But like for the movie, it's just I actually appreciated the movie um, just kind of like watching the story develop the way it is. So I actually did enjoy the movie, I would say, other than, yes, hearing about the fact about what's going on with the production crew and where they filmed it and all that stuff. So like, did you guys hear about that? The problematic issues. So like, is there anybody who knows like what the issues are?
Yeah, there's actually a quote from the Washington Post that I think sums up pretty much everything that Disney did. So the quote is Disney, in other words, worked with regions where genocide is occurring and thanked government departments that are helping to carry it out. So Disney didn't have to work in this specific location that they filmed Mulan in. There are like plenty of other regions in China and even in other countries that fit the beautiful maps and scenery that is present in the film.
Right. So exactly where is the location that they filmed? Like what's going on with the location? Is there a specific name that appear for that area? You know what I mean?
There's a name, but I'm not sure I can pronounce it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes, you know what I mean? Like people talk about it, but sometimes for me, I don't know about you guys, but I like knowing those little details, I guess, just so that I can make sure and be like, hey guys, we're never traveling over there, or, just because like it's kind of nice to know even with the location. People only talk about, yeah, these are concentration camps that they filmed, but I'm like, okay, so where is it? And then everyone's like, I don't know. So, oh, do you know, Rahel? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't actually know how to pronounce it either. I think it's Yiger or Yuger.
How do you spell it? Like, I don't.
Uyghur.
I think
Uygh.
Uger.
Yeah. Okay.
Yuger?
I'm just
Yeah.
say, yeah, the remark is facing yet more backlash after its credits, thanks to the Turple Municipal Bureau of Public Security, a government security agency in the, I don't know how to pronounce that province, where 1 million people are thought to be detained, specifically Muslims. Yeah, Muslim Uyghurs, that's a Muslim thing, are said to be held in concentration camps. Yeah, it's detention camps in, I don't know how to, I think it's Xinjiang? I think I'm butchering this.
Yeah. I mean, we're
Um,
all butchering the name right now. Sorry. Like,
yeah, it's
not
like
to be.
Xingiang. It's a big
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Yeah, China
Xinjiang,
says,
I think.
yeah,
Xinjiang.
China says its detention camps are necessary to improve security. Yeah, but anyways, Mulan thanks the Turpan Public Security Bureau. That specific public security bureau was deeply involved in that. So they essentially thanked the people that allowed them to film specific areas that were holding Muslims in concentration camps.
So, I'm guessing here. I don't know, unless you guys seen other interviews out there, because I have not seen it. But I'm just guessing that these people in the production team, I feel like they approached it in a way where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna show maybe the scenery, or just try to get the whole look of this production to look nice. So I feel like they probably tried to go there to get that without. I wonder, did they know? You know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah,
wonder if
they
they
had to know.
right,
They had to
Like it would be a
know.
pretty
Like,
big detail to miss.
right.
yeah, and then there's also the other public controversy of the main character playing Mulan in the live action movie supporting the Hong Kong police and the
Yeah,
brutal oppression
right.
of the Hong Kong riots. So that's a bit dicey.
Well, okay, so you guys said that they had to know, you know what I mean? Like they had to know it was like the concentration camps and stuff. But I want to ask you all also, like how many of us actually knew? Like we can't even pronounce the name. Sorry that we can't
That
pronounce the
these
name.
concentration camps existed? Oh, I knew it before the movie even came out.
Oh,
Like,
like how'd you know about it?
news.
Just news?
Just
Like,
news, yeah. I just saw it floating around somewhere and I followed a small little trace and I was like, oh my god.
okay. What
Yeah.
about everybody else? Like, did you guys like? Let's be honest here. Like for me, I guess, um, maybe it's because my personality is not the type to try to follow concentration camp news or something. Because I mean, of course, like I think it's a terrible thing, and I don't think it's great of what happened to just the people and whatnot. But like I guess for me, just if I heard that name, the area's name, I wouldn't have directly connected it that it's like the concentration camps. But like I feel like a lot of people just found out about it even more because they read the news or something. So I don't know. How many guys, I mean, Ingrid, did you like know about it too? Like the area?
No, yeah, I'm not the kind of person who searches stuff up before the movie comes out. I'm the kind that searches up all these small details after I watch it.
Yeah.
And I think it's also the fact that I just didn't pay attention to the production. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
knew it was coming out, but I didn't really take mind to it. I was just like, oh, it's coming out. Like, that's great. Like,
Right.
I'm not the kind to go and see, like, where did they film it? What did they use to film?
Right. Right.
They, like, all these stuff. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah. How about everybody else? I mean, like, I'm just being real. I didn't look up who the production crew was gonna be, or like, I think when the movie was about to start getting created, I think I only heard, oh, yay, it's gonna be like an all Asian cast. But even with that, I know there's like some weird faults into that too. But other than that, I only kind of focused because we're always busy in our lives to kind of keep up with everything too, that I didn't bother to look up like, oh yay, besides, the Mulan movies coming out. So I don't know. What about you, Rahel and Kirith and Jean? Like, did you guys actually look up everything beforehand and then,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I did not. A lot like Ingrid, I didn't have the time. I wasn't interested, to be frank. I don't really care. As long as like I get to see it, I guess. Like once I have the ability to see it, I mean, good for me, I guess. I don't really know what else to say. I'm not kind of like this like big movie geek, I guess. Um, so yeah, I wasn't really paying any attention, and I don't really want to. um, yeah, I feel like while saying that at the same time, I feel like Mulan is now going to be known for filming at these Muslim concentration camps.
Right.
Um, they're going to be like I don't want to say famous, but they're going to be well known for that, and that I wouldn't say is a very big a good thing for Disney, I guess.
And then curious, like, did you know about it beforehand, or like, are you getting to know what happened to the production, where they filmed it, and all that, and the team, the actors, and all that information after like all these news headlines came out?
Yeah, I pretty much only found out about it after like the movie came out, and then everybody like did articles about it, and I saw like so many YouTube videos about like reviews of the movie, and then in those reviews, sometimes people did talk about all of the horrible stuff that's occurring at the sites that they were filming at.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm not usually the type to like look up everything about a movie
Mm-hmm.
before it come out or even after I watch it. So I didn't really know about any of this stuff.
Right, right. So I feel like if it was a huge issue, and if it was like, I mean of course it is a huge issue now because like we all found out about it, but like, you know what I mean, like beforehand when they were about to go into production or about to do any of this stuff before they even marketed and did all this crazy stunts to have the Mulan movie come out, like it's kind of interesting how people are hopping onto the train now. Like not all, because maybe some people knew, but if people really knew that they're filming in these concentration camps, or about the production crew, the actors, and all that kind of stuff, I feel like somebody should have said something, you know what I mean? Like beforehand, before like things got out of hand like this, which I'm pretty sure now, though, that Disney uh, had a big lesson learned because they're probably not going to try to make this type of mistake again. Um, but I felt like it was so unfortunate because right now is the time period where culture needs to be shared amongst like one another, right? But then, like this, the way it came out, man, it's kind of unfair. Like, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a loss where we could have learned another culture in like the best way we can. But then once again, like something else just kind of happened. So it's a little bit unfortunate. Like, where the result is like half the people, or more than half maybe, are just like, oh my gosh, you should not watch it because those actors support, those Hong Kong riots and all that kind of stuff, and also the concentration camps. That's like the only thing they focus on, like Rahil mentioned, that's what they're famous about now. They're just going to be known for that. But then people are forgetting maybe like we should help one another to help one another learn and also like understand how to maybe approach creating this movie again. Because like Jean mentioned about all these songs, and I know you guys were waiting for that little tiny dragon to come out and like do its magic, voices and all that funny humor behind it. But yeah, I don't recall like any humor behind this movie when I watched it, but the story itself, like the way it came out, I thought it was kind of interesting. So for me, I would like to recommend where everybody just clears their mind watching the movie according to what the animation showed, even what the headline, the news were all about, because like Rahil mentioned, we need to still give things a shot, like in order to really confirm. I agree with you, Rahil. Like we need to think about how we can really confirm on this. So, in my position as a person who did watch it, I would like to say I think the film itself was interesting and it was somewhat fun to watch. But aside from that, no, I do not support the way the production crew like approached this. So I think I confirmed myself on that at least, instead of being a person who's like, I'm not watching it because they did this and this. But the real reality part of that is that people didn't know about it until after, right? I don't know. So it's kind of interesting to hear. So Kira, I know you mentioned, man, there's no Mushu and all that. So let's just say, would you be willing to give it a shot? I don't know. Just if you were able to clear your mind and think of the awesome animated version of Mulan, I guess. Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to do that because I feel like if Disney's advertising it as a remake, I'm gonna be constantly thinking of like all of the old characters and everything that happened in the old movie because the new movie, the plot was just so off. They took out like the key parts that made the first one like such a great movie. I don't know. I don't think that I would like this movie.
I would also tell you guys, I don't think this is like ruining the whole movie or the story either, but some of the characters' names are not the same either. Like there is no Shen, right? Like the guy who falls in love with Mulan, I think, right? Is that his name? I forgot.
Li Shang.
Yeah, Li Shang, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It could be disappointing if you guys try to really make it match neck and neck, I guess. I don't know.
Feel like what Kira said about not being able to watch it just because there's no Mushu, or not being able to watch it, or not wanting to watch it just because, there's no song that you like. I feel like it's like you aren't like thinking about what's good about it. Like if someone has magical powers and is using that, think about the CG that is going to be used. Think about like the violence. I don't know. I like violence a lot. I like action. So think about all of that that's going to be used. I really like that. I'm looking forward to that. At the same time, this like works inversely. Like for no offense, guys, but for Endgame, I was like so excited for it. I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Oh, I'm gonna like really enjoy it. This is the end of Avengers or whatever. And when I watched it, I'm like, really? They used time travel. Spoilers, by the way. They used time travel to solve this, and I was like, why? Like they should have I don't know, they should have first not made the stones destroy. That was a terrible idea. Excuse me, that was a terrible idea. They should have not had Thanos destroy the stones. And so I was being so, the moral of the story, I guess, is I was so excited for that, and then I was so disappointed after watching it. So if you guys are so disappointed by not even watching it, think about what happens if you will watch it. Like if you're so saying, oh, I don't want to watch it because of this and that, think about what will happen if you do watch it. Like
I
you
feel like
might actually
Hey,
like it.
Rahil's trying to definitely help you guys. Maybe just give it a shot. Maybe I
hey,
feel I like that attitude though, honestly, because sometimes you really have to see something in order to confirm. Like if you really hate it, you know what I mean, and then you watch it and then you seriously hate it, then it's like yes, you can confirm that you really hate it. But actually, I agree with you where it's like when people say, "Oh, you hate the movie, but did you watch it?" And if people say no, then it's kind of like their credibility, I feel like it starts going down. Like they haven't watched it, so how can we really trust them other than the fact what the headlines were telling us about the movie, right? But yeah, I see where you're coming from. But yeah, I don't know, Kira, what do you think?
like the original Mulan. And I have to say, if you haven't seen the first one, then I think that your opinion of the remake is going to be different because you won't have as high hopes as I did for the remake.
Maybe it's not the movie overall that wasn't good. Maybe it's just the wording about how Disney put it out there, like the advertisement. Like instead of calling it a remake, they should have maybe said an adaptation. I think that also is that it's the reason why so many people are comparing it because there have been so many remakes that came out already, like
Right.
Cinderella, The Lion King, Aladdin, like you guys said earlier, and they held up to like the standard that people wanted to see because it was like very similar to the original, and this is not the case apparently. So I think it's also important to understand that the people who are adapting it are not the audience, it's the production. And so I think it's also important to understand where the production team was coming from instead of saying, this is what I expected. Why is it not like this? Like, yes, that's what movies are supposed to do. It's supposed to entertain people, but
Mhm.
this is also people's jobs at stake. And I think it's
Right.
also very important to remember that.
Yes, exactly. So like, team, like honestly, I think we have to remember not everybody in the crew that there it's a huge production team, right? Like I don't think everybody would agree on those concentration camps. Like I don't think everybody agrees with like the Hong Kong riots, and I don't think everybody agrees on exactly maybe how the story was going, but there is a team and there's many people involved. So Ingrid, I agree with you. If there's jobs involved and it gave people jobs too. If we think of it in more of a positive approach, then yeah, I agree with you on that. But I don't know. In my opinion, from all the Disney live, right, so far, I feel like the only closest thing, the movie that was the closest to the animation was The Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. That's my opinion. What about you guys? Like, I saw Cinderella, Lion King, and all these like, but I felt like Beauty and the Beast was pretty close, where they had the whole musical going on too, um, and the whole story was just like very similar, very back to back. The names were all like there. I don't know if I'm missing maybe some of the characters, but like I felt like that was a movie that was pretty closest to the animation, in my opinion. Like even
If you were to take a closer look at Lion King, did you guys know that it's actually the exact same shots?
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, that too. Yeah, Lion King is
Exact same
probably
shots.
yeah,
The reenactment with the animation, they're the exact same shots at a synchronized time. The only reason why it's longer is because I think there was one scene that was added that kind of like disrupted everything to make it longer. That's why it's like, I don't know, like half an hour longer or something. There was just a half an hour scene that was longer, but all of that, like all of the beginning part was the exact same scene,
right,
like exact same opening scene, everything was the same. Even the dialogue, I think the dialogue might be kind of altered a little bit, but
right.
more or less the dialogue is also the same.
Yeah. I don't know. What about you guys? Like, are those the top two that's like similar from the animation? I
I
don't
would also say Aladdin. Like
laugh.
I know like there are kind of like there's like a scene, like spoiler, like
Yeah.
the part where she's in like that sand time thingy which flips,
Uh-huh.
and like she's like being covered in sand. That part wasn't shown, but I think it's also important to understand, like I think you can find something in every single remake that's not the same
Right.
as the like I know that you said Miss Troy similar, but
Yes.
I think it's also like I in my opinion I think like those three were the closest.
I think all of the Disney live remakes were actually all amazing. Like, some of them might not have fit the original plotline exactly the same, but I think all of them were pretty good. I think they did a good job with them.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of curious, why can't we go into that mindset with Mulan as well?
Good question. That's actually exactly my question when you just said that, Kieran. So come on. I think we're trying to convince you to join the team at least that we can all just at least give it a shot. Because like you said, it's not going to be exactly this. And I think even for these people, when they were approaching all the Disney movies so far, my guess is maybe they're trying to make some things look more realistic. They call it the chi, and that's it. I think they were trying to bring up some kind of cultural, like, I don't know, detail fact a little bit, just kind of like maybe what was told in the Chinese culture, like folk tales, maybe. I think that's what they were trying to do. But sure, maybe they got rid of magical creatures and substituted like different things. But I think they tried really hard to bring up this whole like female warrior.
I feel like one thing people mentioned was they were saying, okay, I've seen the trailer and I can make this kind of like assumption based on that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I would say do not do that. Like, definitely don't make assumptions about a movie based on a trailer. Like,
Yeah.
a trailer is a glimpse of what they are currently making. A trailer is a glimpse of what is like, I guess, a glimpse of
And
what
a review is a fully comprehensive
is
review of a
what
person that
should
watched the
like.
movie and spent time thinking about it.
Well, okay. But even for the reviews, if you're going to be a person that only reads reviews and try to make a decision, that's pretty sad.
Okay, so true story. I think many of you guys might know Miguel. He's one of my friends, and he was watching Avengers Endgame, the trailer, and I was sitting right next to him when he was watching it, like for the first time. I was like, he was like, okay, this is so exciting, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I don't even get it. I don't even know what's gonna happen. Why are there people in these like big like astronaut costumes walking? And like the Avengers were in an astronaut costume, and I'm like, why? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know like why I have so much
Maybe it's because you
with
didn't
like
pay
Endgame,
attention.
but I didn't like the trailer. It made no sense whatsoever. And then when I saw the movie, okay, I admitted that I didn't like it, but at the same time, I didn't like it based on plot. I liked it based on acting. I liked it based on filming. I liked it based on graphics. I
Good.
didn't like it based on plot. That doesn't mean I didn't like it based on the other three aspects. So you shouldn't kind of completely control your decision based on plot. You should also control your decision based on acting and all of the other three aspects that I gave you. I don't know, like, the critic is really, really good at something. That like many people would take a look and say, oh, that's a really good critic. He's like giving all of the examples. That doesn't mean you should be like relying on the critic. It means you should watch the movie for yourself and you should say, okay, these are the things where I agree with the critic, but these are the things where I disagree with the critic.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be a finite like difference between those two. You shouldn't think, okay, whatever the critic says, I'm gonna agree with.
Yeah, Rahil, I think that was awesome that you guys were sharing your thoughts and opinions about Mulan. As you can see, things can get heated as we just talk about like what all the people say and whatnot, but I don't know. It's up to you guys, right? It's up to everybody how they want to take it, if they want to give it a shot or not. We can't control anybody. But at the same time, I think it's good that you do give things a chance. That's what I feel like the world needs more right now. But that's just me. That's just me.
All right, guys, that's the end. Uh, we hope you enjoyed our podcast. This was SPA podcast. Um, we hoped you enjoyed our complete, argument debate about the movie, the new release movie Mulan. Now, before we go, I just wanted to say one last thing. Um, mainly just for everyone, not only who are the speakers in the Zoom, but basically everyone who's watching this, is you should not blend in with your own path, but you should create your own you shouldn't blend in with everyone else's path, but you should create your own path. And that's what I wanted to end with. So thank you.